Hello everybody, welcome to our presentation on shortlisting universities. This informational video is presented by PlusPrep, a test prep company based in Bangalore. So in this video we are going to look at the key factors to shortlist universities, especially if you're looking to study abroad. And as you may be aware of, there are thousands of universities outside India or outside Asia, and picking the right schools is often an extremely difficult task. So how do you choose the universities that you want to apply to? So we are going to look at some of the key factors which will help you determine the right choice of universities that you can apply to. So let's look at the factors one by one, beginning with the availability of the program, the acceptance rate and class size, the average GPA and the average test scores, location of the universities, career support, alumni base, accreditation, rankings, and last but not the least, costs and scholarships. So let's look at each of these factors in detail, beginning with the availability of the program. So these are the key things which you need to keep in mind before you find out if the program is the right choice for you. One is, of course, the coursework. When I say coursework, what I mean is if the coursework is something which you would like to study, is it difficult, is it easy, or is it something that you can cope with? So you'll be able to find the coursework in most of the university websites in the department under the program. So have a look at the coursework, see if it matches your requirement, and then have a tick mark next to it. The next is the duration of the program. Some programs are for 1 year, some programs are for 2 years, and some of the PhD programs are obviously much longer. So you need to look at the duration of the program and identify if that is something that you'd like to spend, that amount of time is something which you would like to spend. So duration will be the second aspect. The third is, of course, the research options. Whenever you're looking to let's say get into a master's degree or a PhD, or even in some cases the MBA, the research becomes an extremely important factor. So you'll need to look at the kind of research work being done in that particular university and if it is something which you would like to pursue. And if the research options are good enough for you, then it should definitely be one of the universities that you're looking to apply for. And specialization, which is again an important factor, because unlike a lot of Indian universities, the availability of specialization in the US universities or universities outside India are enormous, right? You can actually specialize in a niche program that you want to apply to or that you want to pursue. For example, let's say you want to apply to a master's in computer science. You can actually specialize in something which you are extremely passionate about. For example, networking. You can specialize in networking, or you can specialize in HCI, or you can specialize in AI, or you can specialize in even programming, so on and so forth. So similarly, in each and every department there is a specialization available which you can actually pursue, and this will definitely help you to build your resume as well as build your skills in that particular specialization that you opt for. So the first one is the availability of the program. And when we say availability of the program, it's not just the availability of that particular program in that university, but also the key factors like coursework, duration, research options, and specialization. So if all of these are something which appeal to you, then the first factor of finalizing the universities is a definite yes for you. So the second one is the acceptance rate and class size. So why is this important? The reason that is important is because a lot of people get confused between rankings and acceptance rate. The assumption or the notion is a higher ranked university is more difficult to get into, which may or may not be true. So one factor to know how easy or how difficult it is to get into that university will be to find out what is the acceptance rate of that particular university. So we have taken 5 universities for computer science for illustration purpose. So let's look at MIT, for example, which is ranked number 1 in US News ranking. it has a very high intake of students. It's more than 3,000 students which they accept or which they enroll in their engineering school. And if you look at their acceptance rate, it is 23.6%, which is a fairly decent number. So what this means is, out of 100 people who apply to the university, about 23 people, or roughly around 23 people, get an admit. And if you look at something like Texas A&M, which is ranked 21, has an acceptance rate of roughly around 20%. So if you look at these two numbers and these two numbers, you'll be able to understand what we're talking about. MIT is a much higher ranked university and has around nearly 24% of acceptance, whereas Texas A&M, which is ranked 21, has a lower acceptance rate than MIT. So the notion of ranking determining the acceptance rate may not apply here. So look at the university that you're applying to or which you want to apply to, and look at the acceptance rate before you make a call on which university to apply, put in your application for. And similarly, CMU, which is ranked number 2, has an acceptance rate of 22%. USC has an acceptance rate of 21%. Utah has an acceptance rate of nearly 35%. So each university has their own factors which they'll look into when you submit the application, and hence ranking alone will not determine your acceptance rate. So the other factor which the university will look at in your application is, of course, the average GPA and the average test scores. The same 5 universities which we saw in the previous slide, we have taken the same for reference purpose. And again, if you look at MIT, the average GPA is 3.8, which is very high, and the average GRE is 325, which is also at a higher end, right? So this is something which you need to carefully look at in each university and see how far away or how close you are to that particular average GRE or the particular average GPA. CMU, which is ranked number 2, has an acceptance rate of 22% and has an average GRE of 321 and has an average GPA of 3.6. USC 3.6 and 317 is the average GRE. Texas A&M 3.3 is the average GPA, but the average GRE is very similar to that of USC, which is again 317. But the ranking, there is a difference in the ranking here. This is at 40 and this is at 21. So the average GRE again is not based on the ranking of the university. So University of Utah again 3.4 is the GPA and 314 is the average GRE. So look at these two numbers. University of Utah, even though it's ranked much lower than Texas A&M, has a higher average GPA than Texas A&M, which is ranked much higher than University of Utah. So blindly don't look at universities based on your GRE score or ranking or even the acceptance rate. All these factors are equally important. Only then you'll be able to identify which university is the right choice for you. The next aspect is the location. Location is extremely important, especially if you're looking to study abroad. One of the reasons location is important is because if you're in the right location, getting access to internships, getting access to the industry becomes very easy. So pick universities which are near industry hubs. For example, if you want to do something in, let's say, computer science again, California should be your obvious choice because there are a lot of industries, there are a lot of companies which will give you options to explore. So the industry is extremely important, and the location is equally important as well. There is no point in being in a good university without access to companies or, let's say, industries. You may be in a very good university, but if you're not able to network, or if you're not able to find out research options, or if you're not able to do internships, then it becomes difficult for you in the later stage to get a job. So that's why being in a good university in a good location is also important. And the other factors like weather and overall conditions need to be researched before you submit the application. You cannot be in Alaska if you're allergic to cold. So that is something which you need to keep in mind as well. And lastly, safety. is the university location a safe city or a safe place to live in? That is also something that you need to research on. Then we move on to career support and alumni. So whenever you're looking at a university, go through their career support page, go through their alumni page, and check for the following. Do they have an active and strong career cell? What are the type of companies that recruit from this particular university? How big or how strong is the alumni base? Because more often than not, the alumni will definitely help you at one stage of your career, either in networking or either in finding jobs or even, for example, internships, for example. So having a good alumni base will definitely help you. And statistics of the past class. How many people were placed? What is the percentage of job placements? Is it good? Is it bad? Look at all of these before you make a call on that particular university, and all of these will of course lead to your job. Accreditation is the next factor which we need to look at. Is the university accredited? If not, then it should definitely not be in your list. There are different types of accreditation. One is regional, one is national, institutional, and specialized, etc. These are some of the examples of accrediting agencies. You have ACE, you have Association of American Colleges and Universities, the California Department of Education. This is again a regional one, and these may be the national ones. Hawaii State Department of Education again is a regional one. So there are different types of accrediting agencies. So check if the university that you want to apply to is accredited, based on which you can make a call on applying to the university or not applying to the university. The other factors which we also need to look at is rankings. While rankings is considered to be one of the most important aspect when people apply, this may not necessarily be the most important factor. It definitely should be a factor, but should not be your number one factor, because rankings alone, as we saw in the previous slides, will not determine your admission, nor will it determine if you get in or you don't get in. So rankings of course is important, but it need not be your number one priority. And also when we talk about rankings, you need to look at rankings for your particular specialization or your particular department. A university X may be in the top 10 for computer science, but may not necessarily be in the top 10 for mechanical engineering. Or for example, it may not even be in the top 100 for a business school. So rankings are department specific, and it should be looked at it that way. And then costs, of course. Can you afford the fees as well as the living expenses of that particular university? This is something which you need to be extremely vigilant of. You may get into a university, but if you cannot afford it, then the whole effort becomes useless. So look at the cost. What is the tuition fee, and how much are you going to spend? How much can you spend? Based on that, you can shortlist the universities again. And look at the scholarship options also. A lot of universities do have a lot of options to apply for financial aid and scholarships. So look at what type of scholarships are available and how easy or how difficult it is to get the scholarship. And then this can be related to the cost. If you think you're confident of getting a higher scholarship, probably your cost may reduce, and then it can be one of your university choices. And lastly, the extracurricular activities. Again, studying abroad is an experience which will remain with you for the rest of your life. So just studying in the university may not complete that experience. So look at the type of options which you have in terms of the extracurriculars, the clubs they have, the kind of recreational activities that you have, the sports activities that you can pursue if you're interested in. So all of these will again be there on the website of every university. You can look at the clubs and the options that are available to participate in extracurriculars. And once you have all this information with you, then you can finalize that particular university in accordance with the other factors which we looked at during the presentation. So this is a short presentation on how to choose universities. So again, recapping: availability of the program, acceptance rate, class size, average GPA, the average test scores, is the university located in the right place, do you have enough career support, is the alumni good, is the alumni strong, the accreditation of that particular university, rankings, costs, scholarships, and of course the extracurriculars. So if you have any questions on how to apply to universities, which university you want to apply to, how to apply to universities, or anything related to study abroad, you can get in touch with us on info@plusprep.com. That is info at plusprep.com. You can also call us on this number. You can also visit our website on www.plusprep.com, and you can also find us on our Facebook page at PlusPrep. So if you have any questions, do reach out to us. We'll be happy to answer. Thank you.